Hey everybody, welcome to a special edition of the Off the Dashers podcast. We're actually going to do a movie review. I got a feeling my audio is going to be really low for this because I'm watching my little voice meter thing go up and down, and it's not moving whatsoever.
It's
Nobody else is
moving.
talking?
I
There.
can see your
I'm
and
Matthew Angle.
Yeah, but I just don't know how loud it's going to sound on the recording because my shit's pretty low. Anyway, so obviously there's no hockey. There hasn't been hockey for a while because we're actually going to put this up on YouTube, so we can't say that word with the disease. We have to say just I don't know what to call it because I don't know what to get in what will happen. The health event. I don't know. I don't know what to call it. But anyway, you're listening to this because we had nothing to do, and we can't talk about how much we love the Flyers. I mean, we could talk. We could had this bitch out for another hour and a half.
There has been some news.
There has been some news, but not really anything. Not really, because we did this 2 episodes ago. Well, 1 episode ago. The last one was just me talking for 5 to 6 minutes about what was going to happen. The I don't even know what the hell to. I don't know.
world's
Man.
fucked.
Yeah, shit's fucked. It's on fire. I really wish I knew why my microphone was screwed up, but I don't know. Anyway, so we decided we actually kicked around the idea last off season about doing a movie review thing. Basically, we would pick hockey movies and we would review them about just kind of go over them with the quality of movie, how well they held up with like hockey stuff. If it's an older hockey movie, what it is for some of the newer rules, some of the older rules. Is just not necessarily critiquing the hockey specifically in the movie alone, the movie as a whole as it relates as a hockey movie, and on top of it. What are you trying to link? You're linking the IMDb.
Yeah. So that we can get the storyline straight, because the storyline, it was a pretty complex story that we chose. Jim's wanted to do this for like 2 years. I swear you've been talking about this movie since I first met you.
It is the greatest hockey movie of all time.
All time.
Unfortunately, they have discovered why it's the greatest hockey movie of all time.
I have not discovered why.
It's just the greatest. It's the best hockey movie. That's really what you have to know. You don't have to know anything else. You just have to know that it's the best. If you don't like it, oh well. So
Yeah, that's how that works.
It works for me. How come it's not working for you?
I watched the whole movie, and we're gonna talk about it.
I've seen this movie 4 or 5 times.
Wow. Why, Jim?
A few times. Because it's got cool stuff in it. Anyway, so the first, we don't know what to call this, so I think we're going to call it Puck This, like Puck This movie review. So the way it's going to work is we're going to have this audio version of the podcast and a video companion that I'm eventually going to not do. Maybe what I'm going to do is take this podcast, overlap it with some of the footage, just not use the audio. Because as long as I don't use the audio, there's some really weird like copyright stuff that we can probably skirt around. The only thing that's going to be a problem is at one point I'm going to talk about this song that's called "It Feels Like Magic." But we'll get to that in a minute. You guys know what the song is once you hear it. It's undeniable. But anyway, we're going to talk about Most Valuable Primate. It's the greatest hockey movie of all time. It's originally was released in the year 2000. Director was Robert Vince. It stars Bernie, Louie, and Mac. They're the 3 chimpanzees in the movie. They all play Jack. The other 2 iTunes, I don't need to update right now. The other 2 stars of the movie are Kevin Zegers, who plays Stephen Westover, and Jamie Renee Smith, who plays Tara Westover. They're 2 kids. The basic idea is that this family lives in Canada, and Jack is a monkey who was at a university. They're trying to show how smart he is, but effectively,
the monkey is the smartest character.
The monkey's the smartest character in the movie. That's my favorite part.
This is not an exaggeration. They
No.
make it a point to let you know how smart the monkey is at the beginning of the movie by this juxtaposition of a janitor
Well, let's get into the first movie. So the very first scene of the movie is you see what's like obviously a boy's room as it's like scrolling down and it's coming on in, and there's a bunch of hockey stickers on the wall, kind of like the Fatheads like vinyl stickers. There's a big poster of Wayne Gretzky. Did anybody spot any of the players the on the
I
wall? I'm
didn't
getting
take a
talked
good
back from
enough
somebody.
look.
I did not take notes on who the
You
players were on the
fucking
wall.
losers. You losers.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
you had Paul Correa up there, Owen Nolan, Sean Burke, who was uh, the Coyotes goalie at the time. Am I getting talked back through me, or am I getting talked back through?
Matt.
Oh,
It might be me.
Of course it is. Why wouldn't it be? We've only been doing the podcast for 3 years. So, and there was
better.
one Flyers player. One.
Really?
I'll give you a guess at who it was.
Lindros?
Nope. He was an alternate captain.
John Leclerc?
Nope. Or number 17. You all should be ashamed.
The year 2000, I was not
99
watching.
2000. 99 2000.
I wasn't watching a lot of hockey at that age.
It was Rod the Bod, bud. Rod the Bod Brindamore.
Oh, Rod Bridmore.
Yeah,
No way.
Brindy. Yeah, he's on there. And then they kind of cut across to where they cut across to like some more stuff where you see like his little shelves, and the shelves all have like dinosaurs and cool boy stuff, and it's really decked out. The last thing they show you is a shot of a bed as they're kind of pulling forward. There's this giant tooth. I think it's supposed to be Godzilla. I think it's the 2000s Godzilla on top of his little nightstand. And as they pull in a little closer, there are some big hockey cards on the like kind of taped to his headboard. They're hard to see, but there's a Flyers goaltender on them. The only issue I had is I can't figure out who it is. It's an all-white mask, white blocker, white pads, and there's a few players who would have been in that 99 2000 range, and that's Ron Hextall, Van Beesbrook, but he had a crazy mask, but I don't remember if he had a plain mask when he came to Philadelphia. Or
Boosh?
Boosh, yeah, he's the other guy. Yeah, I don't know. None of them wore a white mask that I could see, that I could find the card of. That was the trick. I tried to track him down, but anyway, they basically it looks like it's like, oh, it's going to be the little boy, and then the covers come off and it's a chimpanzee. He wakes up before 7 a.m. He's got a picture of what I'm going to assume is his mom this early in the movie. A picture of his mom and him like as like a little family photo. And then he gets up. First off, he's wearing like pajamas with socks. He's got a nice Flyers orange shirt on. He then it's real comedy stuff. Like he's scratching his butt, walking to the bathroom. Then he goes in, takes a shower.
I think that's the only part of the movie my kids liked. By the way, they laughed.
Scratching his butt.
Yeah, they laughed at that. They laughed so hard at that. It was like, "Fuck, he scratched his butt." It's like, all right, they're gonna like this, and then like 10 minutes later,
he's got fucking top hygiene.
Yeah,
he brushes his teeth. He takes a shower. Like he's killing it.
Yeah, he's all set. Blow dries his hair.
Man, he's got a routine.
Yeah, so the whole time this is kind of going on. A little bit later, they kind of set up. He sets up. This is actually where you're introduced to the janitor guy, Darren. You weren't paying attention to the names, which I don't think they give his name originally. They give it later.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so
he was the most important character, really.
He really was the most important character.
He's solid.
He's the MVP.
Yeah,
he's the real MVP of MVP. They set it up that they set it up to where they show Jack going through his morning routine, like making coffee, getting cereal ready, and then in walks the janitor when he's got everything all set up, like pretty much ready to go. And the janitor's like, "Oh my God, Jack, you're like super smart or something." And it's so obvious that the janitor's supposed to be the dumb, like just the dumb janitor.
Yeah, it's
They
more
don't
than
try
that.
to
Like
hide it.
they try to make him more than dumb. That's the thing. He walks like a fine line. Like you
Yeah,
never go like I hate to say it.
They didn't
he
want to
might be
call him
In
mentally
Simian.
Tropic
handicapped.
in Tropic Thunder, they tell you never go full retard, and he's not
Yeah,
going full
He's
retard,
not.
but
He's not.
he's but but you can tell
He's towing the
that
line.
that he's
he's mentally
but he's
handicapped.
but you
Yeah.
can tell it's somebody playing somebody that's not.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh yeah,
So
for sure.
so it's
Yeah.
like he's just got like a little bit of a weird way of speaking, and he's just thinking
Kind of
like
shuffle. He shuffles when he
he
walks.
shuffles
And,
The
around, and he just
he
he's
kind
a
of
janitor. Like
yeah.
like if you did this movie now, everybody would just assume he's autistic.
yeah,
Yeah.
He sits down
and
with Jack, eats breakfast, and like he's doing like these big like
his
chomps
I
and
don't know.
best
He's
tackle in
kind
his
of
mouth full.
his
he's
only
kind of a
friend is a
great he's
monkey.
kind of a great character really
He's
because
great.
he's
I'm
very
not. I love him.
it's a very heartwarming character, right? Like you like to see a guy like that interacting with a monkey. That's great.
Yeah, his
It's
best
great.
friend is a monkey. That's his best
Yeah.
friend. So
It's his
it's
best
like
friend. It's heartfelt.
yeah.
Morning, Jack. You're a funny guy, Jack. Oh, thank you, Jack. Jack, I gotta go get ready, okay?
So and then in walks the doctor, the professor, and it's like a classroom kind of situation. Like they have Jack's apartment, I guess, set up to where like you can see him sleeping. You see his little kitchenette. You can't see him in the bathroom because that's fucked up. But you see, and then the professor like walks out, and Jack and the professor are sitting in, I guess, trying to show how smart Jack is. The issue is he's having like problems doing simple math. But they kind of set up to real early that the doc may not be around too long.
Yeah.
Like he's like sweating and like it's like his
Yeah.
whole thing, his whole demeanor is like he looks old, he looks sickly. It's rough.
Can I just point out how weird that scene was to me? Because it's like I've never been to a college course where you would bring out a monkey and have him count. Like, what are you learning in that? Like, what's the name of the course?
The thing about it too is it's like the monkey, he's like not taking it seriously. So Jack doesn't take any of this seriously, and he's trying to count, and he's like, LOL, it's 3, not 4, right? And it's like, and the monkey is like very obviously, like he makes a joke after he's like, oh, it's 4 actually, and all the students laugh and shit, and he's like, how are we ever gonna convince everyone that you're a genius? And it's like,
Yeah.
like. Yeah, like we're gonna all believe the monkey's a genius, but at the same rate, it's.
All they have to do is sit and watch him in his apartment for like 5-6 minutes. You know, just show the video of him waking up, brushing his teeth, because he's the one who put these clothes
coffee.
on. He put the clothes on. He put them on. Nobody else helped him. He did it.
Yeah, it's like, well, you wouldn't find that the monkey was a genius. You found that the monkey was a normal person trapped in a monkey's body. Like,
Yeah.
if the monkey's not a genius, it's like he's not doing calculus. He's not solving problems. He's just being a person. Like,
I can't believe you're shitting on him like that. He's obviously this, like we said at the beginning, he's the smartest character in the.
But that's not to say he's not the smartest character. That's what I'm saying. It's like everybody else is like has a hard time just being a normal fucking person. The only normal person at the beginning of the movie is Jack, and he's not a person. So I don't know what to say.
Speciesist piece of shit.
I am. I'll be pieces.
Speciesist.
I'll be
Speciesist.
But after the classroom scene, they show Nelson, Canada, where you get introduced to the two kids who are really the stars of the movie outside of Jack. You got the guy Steven. He's on like a little frozen pond, just clapping goals into this makeshift wooden net. Just up
He's
there.
doing it poorly too, like very.
He's not
poorly.
doing super great. It's not great.
It's like for as good as a hockey player as they show him to be later in the movie. This is just this kid slapping rubber at this makeshift net, and it's not good. It's not setting a good scene and showing anything good about how he's supposed to be a good hockey player. I don't know. It doesn't impress me.
It doesn't.
Well, you don't think like skating around on a pond and shooting pucks at a net?
The Mighty Ducks did a better job of convincing me that the children were legitimately good at the hockey that they played, because that they picked and choose the scenes they're showing. No, like they're just like, take one, put your skates on, go ahead and slap this stuff. He's like, the kid's like, I've never played hockey before. He's like, it doesn't matter. This is a movie. Like,
you'll figure it out. There's a lot. Spoiler alert. There's a lot of that in this movie.
A lot of bad hockey.
Yeah, there is, but that's the point of the review.
That's the beginning of it. That's the beginning of the bad hockey.
We see Steven and his sister Tara, and they're having a happy sibling thing where they're all excited to be Canadians, I guess. They then show Tara in school, and the popular girl is handing out birthday. I'm assuming it's supposed to be birthday invitations too.
Yeah.
And she's on the and at one point she's basically like taking them and making it rain with them. Just kind of like throwing them kind of slightly in the air, and the one she throws is Tara's. It like hits the ground and rolls next to the garbage cans, so she doesn't see it, and she's all upset. But like she doesn't speak up or nothing about why she didn't go over and be like, "Oh my god, I can't believe it." So she's giving them out. Did anybody see her, the popular girl, peg the other girl in the face with one of the invites?
Yeah. No. She was just tossing them, and like some girl was just like,
I want one.
Wow. She's just like hit her in the head, and like right between the eyes too. It's like that was a good one. I like that.
She just it's like the last one. She just goes to chuck it, and just like, here you go, bitch, boom.
It's like the extras in this movie are great.
Oh, it's so phenomenal. Then we get a shot of the Simian Wilderness Preserve. And it basically sets up like, oh, this is where, like, that's where Jack's mom is. And you get this scene of a real sad scene. Oh, no, did I skip over the...
Did the doctor die first?
I don't think he died yet. Spoilers, doctor dies. No, he hasn't died yet. We get a scene, after that scene, you see, like, Tara crying and her brother, like, what happened? Why are you so upset? And they're talking to their parents who are doing parent stuff because they have all the bills on the table, I guess, and like talking to stuff over. This is where we find out that Tara is deaf, and she knows sign language. So she thinks the reason she was left out is because she's different. It's a real like, that sucks kind of thing. And they're like, no, sweetie, it's okay. It's just you'll get them tomorrow. She goes upstairs and she cries, and the mom, kind of does the same thing. But meanwhile, back at the university. Jack is helping our janitor friend Darren clean up. And it's not like he's just like sweeping a little bit. He's on motherfucking roller skates.
Oh, yeah.
Skating through the halls, grabbing bags of trash, sticking them into the cart. And he's not
a rollerblading monkey.
He is. And even like the janitor's like, he's got that real leaned forward, like goofy kid skate.
Oh, dude, the janitor could not skate, which is great to watch.
It's like, could he not skate, or was he pretending not to be able to skate? I don't.
Oh, he was real. That's real. That's like real acting. Like he convinced me that he couldn't skate. Maybe he could.
He's leaning so far forward. He's leaning so far forward that he's having such a terrible time, like and you see him like getting thrown off balance a little bit because he's not really making real strides. He's just kind of almost like a little
shuffling.
Kid, almost like shuffle stepping. It's really Benny Hill-esque as like Jack and the janitor guy are just like boom, 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 like going all over the place and get everything on. Then they're sitting down, they're playing checkers, and like Jack that makes a move, and Darren's like, "Oh, I see what you're doing there." Okay.
He quadruple jumps at that. Yeah, he quadruple jumps Jack. He's like, "Sorry,
well, that's where you kind of get the feeling that maybe he's like putting on an act, because he totally dominates in checkers there.
He does,
right?
But
like maybe Darren is the smartest.
It's like a Rain Man situation.
Yeah, but he's swindled by the monkey. Like the monkey Jack doesn't. I keep saying the monkey, even though he's a chimp. That's not technically the right term.
Chimp. Yeah.
He points over, like he doesn't even point. He just kind of like looks out the window of his little studio apartment, like, what's going on out there?
Hey, what's
and the
going on
maintenance
there?
guy goes, what? And turns around and he takes a marshmallow and jams it in his mouth and eats it. And there's this long amount of time where the janitor then looks like ho 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 oh, and that's when he does like, oh, I'm gonna just and he goes, "Hey, Jack, did you steal one of my marshmallows?"
Like, and it's terribly.
It's the same voice. That's the okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Then bop, 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 bop. Then he just jumps him 4 or 5 times. You just go,
Time for
"Sorry,
bed
buddy."
Time for bed, Jack.
Hey, Jack. Did you steal one of my marshmallows? All right, then.
Yeah.
Oh, the way he looks at his watch, he goes like, "Ooh," and like takes his arm down and like raises
Yeah.
his eyebrow. Whoa, whoa, it's time for bed. Oh, it's so great. It's amazing.
It really is. It really
Then
is.
he kind of does like the little sign language, like puts his hands to his, and he goes to sleep. Jack, when he gets off the table or off the chair, just topples it over.
Oh yeah, yeah. My kids noticed that.
Yeah, then there's this cute little scene where the janitor's reading a bedtime story to Jack, but they splice in the old Doc, and he's walking in with like milk and cookies to sit in his favorite armchair to watch his stories. I guess I don't know what old people do.
He was reading a book too. He had a book. He had a book with him that he was reading. He's like sitting down to read his like romance novel or whatever.
It does,
like,
and
before he
you
goes
can
to
see in the pictures like the doctor in like a safari outfit, like holding a lion. There's some.
Well,
You can see
he was calling. Did we mention that he was on a phone?
He didn't. He basically. I don't know if they ever said why he needed to call, but effectively he has to get rid of Jack because
He wants to end the research, is what he said. He wants to end his research, and he wants to send Jack somewhere safe, essentially.
Yeah.
So he's going to send the paperwork over in the morning.
Yep. And the idea is that he's going back to the El Simian preserve that we saw earlier.
Mm-hmm. But
that's where the trick comes in. They basically show him like falling asleep, and he's taking like the real deep sleep. And he's got a full glass of milk, and he just slowly starts to like pour it over.
I love that scene. That there's like an 80, however old that guy is, and like his nightly ritual is to like get a big glass of milk and a great big ass cookie and sit down and eat that. Like
He's got the old like crank record player.
Wholesome as
Yep.
fuck.
It really is. It's like I wanna be that guy. I wanna be 80. That's the way I want to go out. I want to go out eating milk and cookies, listening to a record, like at a ripe old age. Like it's perfect.
Your family,
it's really...
your family finds you, and you're sitting in your own load.
Yeah.
Cookies.
Just
and then spoiled milk. It's
Yeah.
I just imagine you like sitting down every night, just hoping tonight's the night, like pouring the milk out and just slump forward.
Like, is
Try it out,
tonight the
Splash.
night? Is it gonna happen?
Oh man, I can feel it in my bones today. But after the sad death scene, it's time for the first hockey scene of the movie. They show the Nuggets arena, and the U for Nuggets is tilted, leaning against the G. And basically, the new guy, Steve, walks up and starts talking to a guy who's kind of standing there. And you know it's hockey because the very first scene is all of them in like practice uniforms, like the pink shirt, like pink. I'm sorry, yellow, like green, orange.
They look
blue.
like 80s like football practice jerseys.
Yeah,
like these kids are all like, all their pads are sticking out from underneath, and they're just like apparently sweating their asses off or something. I don't know.
Not even
but it's
well,
just terrible.
Just to prove a point, they to really hammer home that it's hockey, they're all gooning it up. They're fighting, they're punching. One guy is getting another guy in a figure 4 leg lock.
Oh yeah.
There's one guy dropping an elbow.
They're all just fighting at practice. Like that doesn't happen.
Yeah,
like
doesn't
kids
make
don't
any
shirts
sense.
over their heads.
Fight like that at practice. No.
And Steve's like, "What are they doing?" And the guy's like, it's pretty good. We've had a good season last year. This and that. They're just letting them wander around." And then basically go, "Oh, that's the coach. Yeah, hi, I'm Coach. What the hell was his name? I'm drawing a blank.
I don't fucking know. Because you see the
Coach,
coach like
Coach
5
Marlowe.
times. Throughout the entire movie. Like the coach is like, again, the most inconsequential person during the entire movie. He has nothing to do with anything.
And then they
Like,
show
what does the coach do?
they show the bench scene, and they show the one kid who looks like he might actually know how to play hockey, but he's the star player from last year, except he's been injured with a leg injury or something for the
Shoulder.
season.
He's had a bad shoulder
that's
or
right.
something, I think. Yeah.
And then they go to the next guy. They go, yeah, that's this is Pete. This guy's Liz. This is Larry. He's knitting.
It's like, don't mind him.
Yeah, don't mind him. He'll be all right. Don't worry about him.
The
The
only
big
thing he's
kid.
been knitting the entire time is a hat for a monkey that like he hasn't met yet.
Well, yeah. Well, the first one he's knitting something green, and then later it's he's like, I was knitting this hat, but it's been like 2 weeks and I don't have it. Then they have the giant guy named Moose. It's like, oh yeah, of course, his name's Moose. He's giant.
Fat guy named Moose.
Then they show the goalie, and the fucking goalie's name is Magoo.
It's a
They really
high,
buried the.
they're foreshadowing an issue there.
Yeah, they
the
really
name.
buried the lead on that one. There's nobody. I wonder what his problem is. I can't believe it. Well, we'll find that out. We'll find that. Yeah, we'll find that out later. And you see the goalie. He's stopping pucks, and it's like, oh, he doesn't seem too bad. And then they go, yeah, but he gets distracted pretty easy. They blow a whistle. He looks over, and the classic puck to the goalie cage, just
Like
right
in
off his dome.
forehead.
They line everybody up, and they go through the thing, and they go, hey, oh man, that's not good. I hope the goalie's okay. And get some smelling salts. And they go, Coach, we ran out of smelling salts 2 seasons ago. And they just walk over and pour a bucket of water on him.
Yep. And he wakes up and he's like, oh God, and he like faces the wrong way at the net. Like, I'm ready to go, Coach.
That'd be a complete NHL no in this.
Like, he's got a concussion. He's got a concussion.
They're like, bring the smelling salts. Like, oh, there's no smelling salts, so they just throw water on him.
And then they send him back out there after an obvious concussion.
You're like, well, this is obviously before the Players Association decided that
this is Junior B. It's Junior B hockey.
Yeah.
So they like, okay, let's start practice. They drop the puck. Our Moose and Steven are at center ice. They drop the puck, and Moose just crushes them, just layers them over. Coach just looks at him like, welcome to Junior B. It just kind of goes on. Obviously, they set it up to where Steve's the dangler. They haven't told you where he's from yet. Oh no, did they? Yeah, he's originally from California.
California boy.
So they're just giving him shit because he's from California. He goes in, scores a goal. He drops to his knees and does like a little spin for no reason. And after he scores the goal, he's like, yeah, he's celebrating a little bit. It is practice. He shouldn't be celebrating like that. It's kind of fucked up. But the Moose and one of the other players crush him in the boards, and they're like, welcome to Junior B. It's like, all right, I see. This is going to be a rough and tumble style of...
Welcome to Junior B. Like, what the fuck?
So they cut back to the school, and you get to see like the janitor guy like waiting to pull the curtain up, and Jack's like looking at his watch, like it's 8:10. What's going on? Then some nerdy guy comes out and says, "Unfortunately, he was like if you made a nerdy fuck, I didn't write his name down, and because I didn't crap. He played in Bad Santa.
Oh fuck, I don't know. I know which guy you're talking about too. I can't remember what his name is.
Fucking God damn it, Billy Bob Thornton. It's like a nerdy Billy Bob Thornton shows up.
Yeah.
And he's like, I'm sorry, but unfortunately the classes we're no longer going to do it because the professor has died. Blah, 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 blah. I don't know if he ever says the professor dies, but if you had made like a nerdy Billy Bob Thornton, it's that fucking guy.
That's him. It's him. Yeah.
And the janitor's like, they cut to the janitor's face, and he's like, you can see that he's sad, but it's supposed to be goofy, so he's not supposed to know that he's sad. And then he's like slowly like lets his hand like slide on the curtain a little bit, and it's like, oh, everything's pretty sad. Then we get to the first game for the Nuggets. And one of my favorite moments is the guy they show, the old guy, who's got like the horn. He's like, he's basically like a rally monkey. He kind of talking. The first thing they show him, he's like talking. They're going to be good this year. It's got to be just need a win. At one point, he takes his teeth out, polishes them with a rag and like sticks them back
Pops
in.
them back. Yep.
But he's super hyped, like honking the horn. The Nuggets are like lazily skating onto the ice.
Oh yeah.
Doesn't he have one of those radio transmitters too in his ear, like
Yeah,
the
he
old?
does. Yeah, like the old hearing aid.
Yeah.
The first actual hockey they show is like they're kind of battling in the at the line, and they're playing the Vikings because that's the real tough hockey team, and they're just kind of shoving each other. Nobody's like making a play for a puck. There's nothing going on. They're just like
Back and forth.
Moose gets the puck from the line and blasts a shot that goes. That would make the Flyers really, really proud because he misses the net by a solid 4
High and
feet.
wide.
Yep.
So our friend Steve gets open at the blue line, but this is where the first problem with the game is. They show Steve go over the line.
He's offsides.
He's offsides, and then they show the other guy who's supposed to be skating up later. He hasn't reached the line yet, so obviously he's offsides.
He's calling for the puck.
Yeah, he's Steve is calling for the puck while offsides. So obviously the hockey sense for this kid is way up there. He does have some nice moves to get around, but he's in the zone when he's calling for the puck, and the number 3 stops and at the blue line and skates around like he's supposed to because fucking Steven is offsides. And he gets smushed up by 3 other players. And Steve's like, come on, man. And the big dude from the Vikings crushes him. Then they flip the puck down the other end, and the goalie's like, oh, I'm going to get it. And the same exact move beats him, just one little simple deke. And we find out it's 4-0 at the end of the first period.
So here's the other note. During every single play, in every shot of the entire movie from this point forward, interference on every play. I don't know how any other way to explain it. Everyone's getting hit all the time, whether you have the puck, you don't, whether you've had the puck, whether you're going to have the puck, whether anybody's, if you look at the puck from across the fucking rink, you're getting hit.
Yeah.
And no one notices or calls an interference call the entire movie. So Junior B hockey, I assume, is played by...
It's a gong show. It's a
gong show. It's a gong show, and they just refuse to call anything, or they think that interference is way too over the head of children to say, oh, you're not supposed to hit when people aren't near the puck, or you're not battling for a puck, or there's no play. Like, it's like in 2000, I get it. There was a lot more physical play, but interference was still a thing.
Pretty sure some of those refs could make it in today's NHL.
Yeah,
just
they
saying.
would be.
I'm just saying. Tim Peel could have some competition.
They do address that in.
It was pretty funny because one guy. Yeah.
They do address it. So while the game is going on, they cut back to the school, and they show the janitor and Jack cleaning up, and all of a sudden, they hear somebody coming up the stairs. Like, who is it? And they're like, I don't know. What do you mean you don't know? Who do you think it is?
A white tuxedo, a man in a white suit.
It's a man in a white suit. So you know he's the bad guy because he doesn't. Well, there's 2 things that in these types of movies that show bad guys: beards, or mustache, or all white suits. So he shows up and he's like, I'm gonna take Jack back. I'm gonna end the program. This and that. And Jack's like, oh no. And then the nerdy Billy Bob Thornton is like, oh my God, I can't believe we're going to do this. And they're walking up, I'm assuming with some other members of the school board, because the other 2 people aren't really addressed. But instead of Jack sending him back to the sanctuary, he's going to send him to a hepatitis facility?
He's going to send him to another university that's doing hepatitis testing on chimps.
Yep. And nerdy Billy Bob Thornton goes, won't he die? And the bad guy's name is Dr. Peabody, gives him a quick little kick.
I don't
like, quiet you. So they kind of figure out a way to sneak. Like, Jack runs away, and they like sneak away. The janitor and Jack have this like, I don't know what to do, Jack. I gotta get you out of here. We can't have you go to the field. And they hatch up this plan to pack up his things and sneak him out of there. Jack's smart enough to bring mouthwash. You know? What are you laughing at?
It fucking does though. He
Brings
brings
underwear.
lots of underwear. No, he
Doesn't
says lots of underwear. That's a great idea, Jack. You can't
doesn't he
have enough
sniff the
underwear.
doesn't he sniff the underwear? Does one of them like does that happen, or am I misremembering that?
I don't remember.
To make sure they were clean. I think that might have happened.
I feel like that 100% happened. Okay. I don't know. Anyway,
I don't remember either. I'll look for on the clip. But basically, from there they go to the bus stop and like the train. I guess the bus station.
Mm-hmm.
And
I think that's
They try and sneak him in, and so the janitor has him up on the counter. Like it's like a bank teller window. They have him up on the counter, and he goes, "I need one ticket to whatever it is, California, San Diego, I think." For then he goes,
El Simian. Okay. Now there's a train stop at El Simian.
Yeah,
that's literally where he's sending him. Yeah, so conveniently.
The guy goes, "Sure." So in front of the guy, like not discreet or anything, like unzips the bag a little bit and goes, "You're doing so good, Jack. I can't believe it. You're going to be so happy."
No one notices the monkey.
Yeah, nobody notices.
Nobody notices him. I don't know how.
He's making lots of goofy faces, and the bank teller seems to be slightly suspicious, but nobody really seems to be too suspicious. And they get to the point where it's time to put Jack onto the train, and he goes, "Listen, Jack, you got to remember, El Simian's when you got to get off, so you got to get off now." But he's supposed to be hiding in a backpack, like in a duffel bag.
Yep, in like the carry-on section, like above the seats,
but
like the baggage storage. He's like sitting up there in his bag with his banana and fucking clothes and shit. Like
the janitor sad walks away, and
he's got his leg tucked into his sock so it didn't get caught in his bike chain because he rides a tricycle because he can't ride a bike. Again,
it's insinuating
that he is very, very slow.
It's not great. So they have a little scene where the conductor comes by and like takes tickets and all this other stuff. Jack steals his hat. Well, Jack. Well, we're jumping ahead a little bit.
We're jumping ahead.
He steals. So they cut to the next game. Is it the next game or is it the same game?
I think it's the next game.
Yeah, it's the next game.
They cut to the next game, and our buddy Moose is down in the corner. He's got his head down. Not super great move, and he just gets blasted, crushed, lays on the ground. Referee skates up, blows the whistle, and goes, it's okay. So instead of like having a medical team show up, like with a stretcher or anything, like making sure he's okay, two guys kind of run up and go to pick him up to drag him out.
It's like drag him.
Yeah, he's obviously too heavy to lift by his arms. So they're having a hard time with it. So to fix it, they literally grab him by the skates and just drag him across the ice, like willy-nilly. Like, no, just fuck you, bud. Right. And then our buddy Steve goes over and goes, "Hey man, what the fuck? That's obviously a penalty." And the referee goes, "No man, that's a home team ref. He's never gonna call nothing, man. It's the way it is. It's hard. It's junior B hockey, bro. It's hard. It's the way it is.
It's junior B."
And then the guy they show on the other team looks like he's 35.
Literally, there are literal men out there, not junior B hockey players. Junior B, I don't know if anybody knows about the hockey structure in Canada, but junior hockey is what you play before you go and you maybe make like the I don't know. You play between the ages of like 13 and like 15. Like I don't. Your B League hockey is not. It's what you make to go to the next level. Like when you talk about the Western Hockey League or the OHL or any of that, it's where you get drafted from. So, which makes even less sense for the next portion of the movie because it's like I can't ruin the end. I don't want to ruin the end.
We'll get there.
Anything works.
to fix it, they have they stick our boy right on the ice. He comes in, skates around a bunch of players, gets in on a breakaway. He's got his hands back because he knows this is his spot. He's about to just clap one past the goalie and give it a big rip. And he winds up like he's going to shoot and then gets pelted with eggs.
Yeah. No,
by the home team crowd. That was
by the home
by
team
the home
crowd.
team crowd. He gets hit. He gets hit. No, and it's not the home team crowd. It's they're visiting. They're
the
visiting a
visiting
place.
Are
team.
they supposed to be visitors? Yeah.
They're
Well,
supposed
what
to be
about
visitors.
the thing the ref had just said though?
Well,
No, yeah,
because
it is a
he
home
was
team.
a home
It's a home.
ref. That's what I mean. He was a home ref. He wasn't
Oh.
calling anything because he was only going to call things for the home team because
Gotcha.
Yeah, it's so he gets pelted, and
With
the
eggs.
Nuggets, the Nuggets on the bench are like, "Come on, man, that's a penalty." Nothing ever happens. A kind of a brawl happens, and
I love the crowd. I love the crowd pelting him with eggs, though. That's probably one of the highlights of the movie for
because
me.
it hits him
Then
right in the face, and he's like stunned. He's like, I don't know even what the hell's going on anymore. Like,
I didn't even know what the hell was going on.
what is life?
anymore.
What is life? And this kid is just stunned, and I get it. He's allowed to be stunned because it's pretty fucked up. Some very Flyers fan-esque shit to do.
Yeah. Well, then
Throwing
they
that out there.
then they show for as he's getting up, kind of skating away, kind of dejected. Another player trips him, and one of the players on the bench for the opposing team goes, "How does that feel, Yankee boy?" And that gets his blood boiling. To be honest, for Canadians, there's not a lot of Canadian accents.
Nah.
No, not at all.
There's not. So our boy Steve jumps the into the other team's bench and just gets mollywopped. They dump him back over the boards. Easy
But
peasy.
he gains the
penalty.
trust of his teammates
And a game misconduct penalty.
in a game misconduct.
They boot him.
It's true.
It was worth it.
Oh man, I can't believe it. So the whole time they're doing this, there's the worst train travel footage ever.
Yes.
As they keep showing Jack like in his little duffel bag, like eating a banana, because that's what monkeys do. And they're basically setting up that he might miss his stop. Who knows?
He's
Turns
monkeying
out
around.
totally misses his stop because he's monkeys around. He falls asleep. And by the time he wakes up, he's in, guess where, Canada.
He went all the way from California
Yeah.
to Canada.
Was that
one stop?
Was that ever explained?
No, there's three stops: California, El Simian, and then fucking Canada.
Yep, that's it. It's the whole
Like,
thing.
how did he? I don't know.
Nobody knows, man. It's a fucking monkey movie.
But it is.
I guess there doesn't need to be continuity. There's also a major. We'll talk about it later, but there's another major plot hole that I want to talk about.
We can get it. We'll get there when we get there. So when he gets off,
Yeah.
it's like a Christmas village, a nice Canadian Christmas village. And he's like, I don't know what to do. And he walks by. The first shop he goes to is like a little grocery store. And the door, it says welcome, but it's completely upside down. And I thought I was going insane because I actually had to pause the movie and go back because I go, oh, that was the name of the store. And then I go, no, it looked like it said welcome, but upside down. And I was right. It does say welcome, except it's upside down. And they kind of show him like looking in, like, I don't know how to get in there. And they show him like, look at all the bananas because he's a monkey. And they're like, oh man, there's two kids walking. Now it's nighttime. There are 0 adults in this little thing. There's nobody there. There's no cars. There's nothing. And it's just these two, because Canada's so safe. It's just these two people walking home. No problem whatsoever. And they're doing like some real basic sign language. Nothing real good. And it basically keeps saying like, oh man, it's going to be okay. Everything's going to be fine.
Also, let's cover the fact that the only reason that they're going to have anybody with any kind of a disability other than a mental disability is so this girl can speak sign language to this monkey.
Yep. That's
it's the only
her
reason.
whole crutch.
It's this her whole crutch, and the whole reason she's in this movie is so she can speak sign language to the monkey that knows sign language.
Yeah,
no,
barely.
That's it.
They barely do sign language.
Did she really
cut out there?
Say that again. You cut out.
Did she really speak sign language? Because
it's dicey.
I do not speak sign language, but I'm pretty sure that the person that played her isn't deaf.
She played in other things. She's actually had a decent career outside of this movie, believe it or not.
Yeah, and she doesn't play roles where she's deaf in those movies, does she?
Not that I'm aware of.
So
I don't know, man. You got me.
We're loosey goosey with all the things here.
Right.
So she's walking by and like she sees a monkey, like she sees the chimp go down the alleyway, and she's like, "Did I see a chimp go down the alleyway?" And she stands there for a second and then kind of walks away. And Jack kind of walks around and he finds a Canadian. Luckily, he finds like a Canadian like teenager's treehouse fuck hut.
Yep.
And
which is totally abandoned.
Totally abandoned. Settles in for the night. It's kind of dirty. Like it's got a bed. Like, he just sweeps it a little bit. No big deal. He cleaned it up a little. He's respectable. Lucky for him, like he falls asleep, and they set it up to where it's all sad. Like he's looking at the picture and everything, and
he wants to see his mom, man. He wants to go back to El Simian.
It's like, I feel bad for the little monkey guy. It's got a picture of the doc on the thing. His mom, like, looks and then falls asleep. So the next morning, our boy Steven is out there bright and early, making sure he's getting in those slap shots. He's got 10 pucks lined up, and he's just bap, bap, bap. And it kind of wakes up our friend Jack. And it's super convenient that he happened to pick the treehouse right near where our friend is knocking biscuits into the net.
Hell yes.
So he wanders out there, and Tara is eating a banana, and she's like taking her skates off, and all of a sudden, whoop, the banana's gone. It's like, oh my God, where'd it go? I don't know what happened. And it turns out it's Jack, and they kind of do a little sign language thing for a little bit, and she's like, I saw a monkey, and Steve's like, fuck you, you didn't see no monkey, you crazy broad, get the hell out of here, you're seeing stuff. There's no monkey. And he kind of does like the sign language for bullshit, like the horns, like the rock horns on one hand, and then you kind of put your arms on top of each other and just kind of open and close your hands. So he basically just says bullshit. So it's another school thing, and she's drawing a picture of the monkey instead of listening, but she can't listen anyways because she's deaf.
She's deaf.
Like the bell goes off and she doesn't move.
She doesn't move, and you're like.
Then she sees everybody else moving. She's like, "Oh, time to go." Okay, and she just crumples up the paper like she drew.
It makes you
just
wonder
throws
how
it on the
she's,
floor.
It makes you wonder how she's learning in school because there's no like teacher like obviously keeping her attention and trying to teach her anything using sign language or she reads lips, but I can't imagine that that's the way.
Yeah.
It's supposed to work, but
and
whatever.
Then they finally find. It turns out that Dr. Peabody has discovered that Jack didn't arrive at the sanctuary. Even though he wasn't supposed to go to the sanctuary to begin with. But for some reason, there's an issue where there's like, he didn't arrive at the sanctuary. I didn't send him to a sanctuary. So he gets his jimmies rustled, and he goes out in the hallway, and he body checks this girl coming around the corner.
Oh yeah, he starts throwing kids around. Like
he really hit this girl and like spun her around. The second guy kind of like gets out of the way, but that first girl she got mollywopped. And then after that, because he realized how hard he hit the first girl, he's just kind of like reaching out and like kind of nudging people with his arm as he goes.
Yeah,
past.
like he trucks.
That first girl, he fucking layered down. And then you get the classic comedy scene where he's wearing an all white suit, and they get to the maintenance guy. He's like, "Do you know where Jack is?" And he's like, "I don't know where Jack is." And he's still kind of painting. Like it's so obvious that he is lying.
Yeah.
The
what exactly does Darren do? What does he do, by the way? Because he's doing everything. Like he's taking care of the monkey. He's also like painting the wall. He's skating around with the monkey for fun, cleaning up trash.
You leave him alone. He's doing his.
Why does it even exist?
He's living.
Why does it even exist? Here,
you're just jealous.
You're okay. So you're watching them skate around, and they're picking up bags of trash that are laying in the middle of the hall. Like, why are they there? There's like one bag of trash. It doesn't make any sense.
Fucking janitor, but he cleans up the thing, and then Jack was helping. And then they were
why are there little having a good time? Why are there little bitty bags of trash lying in the middle of the hallway? It doesn't make any sense. It's the worst. It's like who has little bitty bags of trash lying around in the hallway like that? It's
upset that my man
doesn't make any
gets
sense.
to roller skate with a chimpanzee and pick up trash, and you're just jealous. That's all it is. That's what's happening. You're jealous.
He was just having a good time, man. Why you got to?
He's having a good dude's obviously having a great time, but it's he's got the weirdest role ever. Like his character, or his you know, he like has to have the absolute weirdest assignment because he's a janitor and he's a caretaker and he's like he helps out with the performance by pulling up the curtain. Who has a curtain for the college course, by the way, that they like reveal every, like they pull up the curtain every day for college, for your college class? Like,
well,
my professors would
Kendall, but unfortunately he's passed on. So
yeah, he died. My college professors just walked into the room, usually in like sweats, and did whatever. You know, they don't care. They fucking just teach, and then that's it. There's no theatrics about it. I guess the theatrics are because you have a monkey, maybe.
Yep.
but
I don't know.
Very obviously, only because a monkey is present.
They then spend the next chunk of the movie setting up how they like really find Jack. Tara, I guess after school, just wanders off and starts looking around and retraces her steps and goes back to the pond and finds the teenager little house that he's living in. And it turns out it's way bigger than what you think it would be. Super. It's giant. Like she steps up there and she starts to walk around, and it looks like not that big of a thing from the outside, but she takes a solid, little walk across the across it, and you can see roughly how big it is. It's a pretty decent size.
Like a small apartment in New York City.
It is. It's big.
No one would be leaving this shit uninhabited.
No.
Like, we'll just say that now.
So she's like kind of scoping it out, and then all of a sudden Jack swings down from the ceiling. She screams and faints, and he's like,
she screams all deaf too. She has to scream all deaf. She's the best actress because she's trying. Oh.
It sets up that he can do sign language and she can understand it. So now it's time to this is basically where the movie starts to kind of really get into the more serious stuff. Jack, I'm gonna keep calling him Jack. Steven gets pretty upset and tells the Nuggets, "Listen, it's time to act like real players. It's not. It's this has to change. We got to turn this around." So they're getting all jacked up and like they're goofing about how terrible they are and all this other stuff. Tara sneaks Jack home and hides him in the closet, and they have the classic scene where like every trope scene to where she's trying to hide him, and she's like pushing the door closed and he's opening it up while she's talking to her brother to keep it all hidden. So when Jack wakes up in the morning, he runs through his normal morning routine, makes coffee, gets cereal.
So, doing normal monkey things.
Yeah, well,
normal monkey thing.
Listen. He's got a normal routine. Don't screw with it. This is when Steven sees him, and they're like, we can't have a monkey. He's like, but it's perfectly okay. He's so cute, and they just basically run off. They go
and then the chimp eats her face.
They go out to the pond, and they're like, they go out to the little training pond. And he's like, I'm going to teach you how to skate. So he's kind of skating around, getting the idea down. And they're kind of basically showing us real simple stuff. And Jack's like, Steve's like, I wonder if he can play hockey. That'd be pretty neat. So he basically sets up a puck for him and lets him just take a ripper. And Shea Weber would be completely
embarrassed by, yeah, this is bad.
So at this point they have a montage song that plays, and to me it is super obvious that it is rejected from a sitcom that never happened.
Yeah.
You have it queued up here.
I do. I do have it queued up. It's I don't know. I probably won't be able to play it during the YouTube video, but basically, it is. It Feels Like Magic by Gordon Maxwell. You can look it up on YouTube. It's Airbud TV music video. It Feels Like Magic, and the scene they use is different parts from the trailer, but the whole it's definitely a rejected sitcom. Like you can see the things happen, and then you see them all turn like, oh, it's Steve, and then they go, it's Tara, and it's Jack. Whoa! It's so great.
It is 90s sitcom music for sure.
I couldn't stop. I was giggling the whole time. Whenever it gets to that part, I just start to giggle. And she's like, "Oh my god, I can't believe it." So they have him. They set him up. He blasts the puck through the net, and Steve's like, "Oh man, you got a really good shot. If you could hit the net, it'd be way much better." And Tara's like, "You're blind, bud." And she points to the hole in the net. Not only
And he's like, and he doesn't pay any attention. He's already like skating away, like. And she goes over and looks at the net and like puts her fingers through the net and then looks back and then says nothing, like just doesn't bring it back up again. Like, this is fine. Like you can just believe he's
pretty
not
normal.
Good. This is
listen
normal.
here, you little
normal
shit.
thing.
You can't just start doing that stuff.
So
then they show Dr. Peabody saying that he's having like a little press conference talking about what's gonna happen. And they're like, well, the alumni aren't gonna donate money until they bring Jack back safe, right? And he's like,
okay, so that's a huge hole, right? Because he's gonna sell Jack, but now the issue is the alumni are not going to donate because Jack's not there.
Most realistic part of the movie, to be honest with you.
But it doesn't make any sense. It
doesn't make any sense because his motivation the whole time was to sell Jack to another university, and now he's pissed off because he's not going to get money from alumni that he wouldn't have gotten anyway.
Yeah, doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't make any sense. It makes zero sense. It's like all of a sudden his motivation changed because they're like, oh, maybe we should do that part about the hepatitis testing and the chips. It's probably a hot topic, and they just like forgot to cut it out of the movie or something.
Yep.
So that scene is completely unnecessary. You don't need it. But the following scene where they show Steve and Tara going out to a hockey game, and the Jack stays behind. He's like, I want to go to this hockey game too. So the mom is apparently having a pretty typical It's a meeting of the Karens, except the mom, Mrs. Westover, isn't actually a Karen. She's like normal mom, and they're all pompous, like drinking the fine coffee from the fine china and all this other stuff. And Jack's trying to sneak downstairs, and he scares one of them. That's the whole thing. But this time,
mom still doesn't know that monkey's in the house at this point.
Yeah.
Yep. And the lady sees him, like clearly sees him, and doesn't say shit. Just like, there's a monkey.
Well, she passes out, right?
Yeah, but like when she wakes up,
I thought she said that there was a monkey.
But nobody follows up.
Monkey. Yeah, but nobody follows
up. Nobody follows up.
Well, because who's going to believe that there's a monkey like outside your window? That's realistic.
I don't think you know my house.
Also realistic.
In my house,
could be a monkey.
It'd be like there could be a monkey. Yeah. Like, oh shit, Jim brought a monkey home.
Yeah, you know how many times like especially when I lived in Pennsylvania, I never had a monkey, but I would go pick up stuff for my boss, and there was times where I had cow, like a little baby cow in the back of my car. Anyway, so they go to the Nuggets home game, and it's still not a lot of people in the stands. Some more kind of bullshit hockey, definite tripping, nothing happens. You know, Moose is a little loopy, and it's so easy. He gets all upset and goes full Hulk and tries to smash a guy, and the player jumps before Moose gets to him so he can get pushed into the board safely. Goes down, and no call. Absolutely nothing.
None.
But now they're starting to play like a team because they get it over to Steven, and he dipsy doodles right around the right around the goaltender. Boom, pots in a goal. Everybody's excited. 29 seconds into the game, the Nuggets are up 1-0.
Hell to the fuck.
Hell yeah.
Looking super great. Then they show the outside, and it looks like Jack is showed up to play hockey in the arena. But
he's got his stick and skates. You know, he's ready to go.
He can't walk through the front door, but he can climb up to 2 conveniently placed ladders that go to the roof. And listen, he's got to get inside. So a family comes in and they drop a glove or something, and he's like, "Oh my God, I got to go back." And the guy that's sitting in front of the door sneaks inside. So Jack could have clearly just walked through the front door, but instead he goes the long way. They do a full on line change. Moose is such a big guy; he has a hard time getting over the boards. But he finally gets on the thing. He's like, "Yeah, thanks, coach. Thanks." Coach is telling him what's going on, talking about how good he is. The goalie's having problems. This is where they really set up that he's having problems seeing stuff. because Moose has to tell him where it was, even though they just showed Moose climbing over the boards, and then they turn around and show him
next to the net.
Yeah, next to the net. So the scene where Jack is, they go up and they find a skylight, which perfectly goes to the Nuggets dressing room.
Because that's normal.
Because that's perfectly normal. So, like, that would mean that they're on the second floor, and they walk down a set of stairs. Because it's a 2-story rink at this point.
Yeah.
They would have had to walk down a set of stairs to get to the thing. You could make the argument that the first floor, you have to go up to the second floor for the arena, and all the underneath is all the refrigeration stuff. I'm willing to let that slide. But there's when he first gets up to the glass, he just basically smushes his face on it and looks in. When it's time for him to actually climb in, you can see that he's not holding on to the stick or his skates any longer. He's not holding them, but they have I'm assuming the trainer, like, poking him with the stick, slightly out of frame. Like, hey, take this. And he reaches down, picks it up, falls into the laundry basket, and they manage to find the one jersey that's still sitting there.
And okay, so here's the other part of the other ridiculous thing. The injured player, the star player, or his last name, is Chimpinski.
It's Rib Chimpsky. Rib Chimpsky.
Rib Chimpsky.
I don't.
But, like, in order for him to get, because he doesn't know what hockey players wear, but there's a poster up on the wall of CCM gear because they sponsored the movie. He looks at the shin guards, like, I need shin guards. Looks at the hockey pants, I need hockey pants. Looks at the shoulder pads, I need shoulder pads. And he puts it together, proving once again that he is the smartest character in the whole movie. He does smell his airwalks though.
And then purposely puts the jersey on backwards.
He puts it on his pants, as pants first. He has it on as pants. Then he realizes he's made a mistake. They show him with the pants, like, put the pants on, and then they show him ripping it off the hook later. More footage of our friend Steven just blasting shots, putting it in pretty good.
He's the best.
Well, guess what? It's time for Rybczynski to make his season debut. He climbs over the glass.
Yep.
Doesn't, like, sneak in, like, through anything during a play. The play is happening, and he just climbs over the glass.
And
so
no one notices it.
No one notices. Nothing happens. There's no too many men. Nothing. No fucking problems. No, too many skaters, because you can't call them men at this point, because now we got a monkey. So he jumps over, comes on in. I believe he gets an assist. I know. I think he scores a goal.
No, he gets the goal. He gets a rebound, doesn't it? It's like a really sweet rebound. It's from the kid.
I think it's from Moose. He breaks over the center line, comes in. They actually re-show him crossing the center line 3 or 4 times.
Yeah.
And
he's really fast. He's the fastest skater on the ice too.
Yep. It's obvious that they had I'm impressed by it. So he breaks the blue line, gets to the hash marks. He magically has the puck, stops, and just rips it top corner. Would have popped the bottle if it was on there. Then Steven gets laid out for no fucking reason.
Yeah.
Because why not?
Like, this new guy's good. I can't believe it. Oh my god. Then he sits down. He does a little celebration thing. And everybody's like, yeah. And then they go, wait a minute, who is that? And they go, I don't know. And then fucking Magoo comes over and tries to look. And then he goes like, is it a monkey? And they go, it's a monkey. And then everybody starts laughing. The monkey did it. Now the first good call from the referee. He's an ineligible player. He can't play, so the goal is overturned.
No, it's right. It's right. It's the only good. It's the only good call. First good call of the entire movie.
Ineligible player can't. So
not the fact that they're not going to recognize that it was a chimp, just that it was an ineligible
ineligible player.
You have to wonder about the rationale. You have to wonder about the rationale of the people in this movie because, like, they just let it go. Like, this is like, oh, this is okay. This is a chimp jumping on the ice, like making a shot. Like, the issue is that he wasn't registered as a player for the team. It's not that he was a monkey on the ice taking a shot with a hockey puck. The issue is his name wasn't on the list of players that were eligible to play.
They don't care that he was a monkey.
Who cares?
It's so great. Then now they obviously know that Jack's around, so they bring him home and they call all the zoos and stuff, and they're like, we don't know where it is. The second most realistic part of the movie is I tried to look up if it was illegal against the rules for a chimpanzee to play in the NHL.
You had to look that up.
I did. I looked for it. I tried.
Evgeny Malkin plays in the NHL, so we already know.
I mean, Tom Wilson plays too, so I don't think it's a. This is actually a Tom Wilson documentary in disguise. So
yes, it is. I don't know if you know, but this is definitely a Tom Wilson documentary.
I couldn't find anything specifically that said a chimpanzee couldn't play. So it's still up there, but they do solve this. They do solve this issue for the league. They basically have the owners have a meeting to find out if they're going to allow Jack to play. One guy is super excited because he's going to be able to buy that Nintendo thing his kid wants.
Yep.
So they all have a vote. How do you think they vote?
Obviously, they all vote to let him in.
Of course they vote to let him in. Why wouldn't they vote to let him in?
They let them all in, and instead of saying yay, they all go, "A."
Because they're Canadian.
Oh my God, I forgot about that part.
Even though nobody's got a Canadian accent, the one lady I'm pretty sure is from like the New Jersey, New York area. She's got that kind of look to her.
She's got the look.
So they have him in the locker room, and they're like, "Yeah, it's going to be a good thing for us, this and that." And everybody's like, "Oh, cool, yeah." I guess the banana puns are swinging all over the place, monkey puns. They do more. They come out. They're doing some practice. They're taking shots, and nobody's hitting the net except our boy Steven, and he's blasting it past the goalie. And that's when he kind of realizes, like, oh, something might be wrong. Jack then hits him in the face again for the second face mask gag, and he gives a thumb up and laughs. Ha 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 ha
ha! I'm a monkey and you're stupid. Ha 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 ha!
It's now they're playing their bitter rivals. In the very next game. It's a do or die implications for this game. Basically, if the Vikings win, they have a guaranteed spot in the playoffs. If the Nuggets win, or if the Nuggets lose, they're basically completely out of playoff contention. So they need this win.
They've only won 3 games the entire season or something like that. Or they haven't won any.
They've said, I'm pretty sure they said they won games, but we will find out very shortly that wasn't true. So this whole game is a shit show. It's obvious that they were trying to like show off how good Jack is. He gets the first goal of the game. There's scenes where he's skating, and the other team's referee is like points to the player like, you make sure that chimpanzee doesn't go anywhere. So they line up on a face-off, and this guy is just like, he stomps his feet, he's going, "Urgh." So Jack is going back at him, and then he just skates under him.
That's it.
Sets up a play, sends it straight across to our boy Steven, who one times it 5-hole to put the Nuggets up 2-1. And the other guy's like, I don't know where he is. I can't get it. It's because Jack
never left the circle. He never left the circle. He just stood there the entire time the play was evolving. Yeah, the entire time.
Jack clowns the kid by holding onto his jersey.
Yep.
As the kid skates around in the circle, like, doesn't feel somebody pulling on him. Like, not whatsoever. And the Vikings player's like, I can't find him. Where is he at? Oh my God, I can't believe it.
Come on, coach.
Where is he?
Oh, and check it out, folks. Jack is making a monkey out of the Viking defenseman. What's the matter, Harold? You can't cover your player, eh? Come on now, get out of here. You're a hoser. Huh?
And then they use the referee for like a game of like, get out of the way, I'm hiding behind you. Moose is laughing from the bench, and by the time they look back, nobody knows Jack is on a breakaway. puts it in. Score, does this little yeah thing. It's a pretty good it's a pretty good scene. Jack puts up his second goal of the night. Then they all do like the ooh 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 monkey chant. This is the first part in the movie to where they show a player who's supposed to be Jack, who's obviously not a monkey, because one, he's magically doubled in height, and he skates a lot better. So he's kind of skates across, and there's a scene where he flicks the puck over to Steven, flips the puck over to Steven, and puts it in, and Steven just kind of slams it home. But it's so obvious that it wasn't a chimpanzee skater. I think I lost everybody.
No, you didn't. I'm listening
Still
to you.
here.
It's enthralling, Jim. You're describing the most boring part of the movie. I'm not gonna lie.
So, and then they show a second scene, like right after they where it's a person who's like a kid who's obviously knows how to skate, but he's wearing the worst like monkey face mask ever. Before they cut to Jack during the little flip over scene. So at this point, in his Junior B debut, Jack has put up 4 points, 2 goals, 2 assists. And the old guy is like, I always knew they were going to be good this year. I always knew it. So they have another scene. They have another scene where Jack gets the puck. They kind of look over at him, and it's so obvious that it's a person who's much taller than a chimpanzee. And then when he loads up for a slap shot, it's when you pause. If you pause it at the right,
it's a midget.
It's a kid. It's a kid, just because of the way the build is. But you can see it's not Jack doing the shot. So Jack takes a shot and it gets deflected out, and everybody watches it as it bounces all over the place and it hits the organist, and they're like, "Oh my god, I can't believe it." So the home team finally wins their first game. They beat the they beat the Vikings 4-1, ending a 40-game losing streak. 40 games. They haven't won in 40
games. And then they make the playoffs somehow.
Can I we didn't talk about this at all, but the monkey is living with the kids now, right? Like,
yes.
Like, it's implied that the monkey has moved into that. Like, what parents let this happen? There's no discussion about it. It's just kind of assumed that it's okay. It's like, yeah, sure, a monkey can move into the house. Like, why?
Because
I'm sorry. If my kids come home with a monkey, it's a hard no, man. It's going to be a hard no.
Yep.
You're getting a hard no. I don't care if he skates. I don't care if he plays hockey or not.
So,
like my kid getting scouted isn't worth having a monkey.
Listen, if that's how he gets into Junior B, maybe that's what you got to do.
Yeah, so, man, Junior B, that's where it's at, dude.
After the game, they congratulate him, and they show Tara and Jack at school for show and tell. Literally, nobody stops this either. Nobody's like, I don't know if we should have this chimpanzee there.
They found this monkey. No questions asked. He's part of the family. She brings them along for show and tell. Okay,
like nothing.
Sure thing. Yep.
So, our boy Steven is getting some one-on-one time with the goalie Magoo. And it turns out, which is the worst twist ever, that Magoo can't see. I can't believe it. So he kind of skates in on him and acts like he's going to take the shot and leaves the puck there and just tries to rip it. Yep, tries to rip it, and the goalie's like, "It's in the net. I can see that." Well, their colors are gold and black, so
yeah.
And they're like, "You got to get some glasses." So they go out and they find the most slap-shotty Hanson Brothers glasses ever.
Yep. It's an ode to Hanson Brothers and Slapshot. Yeah. It's very obvious because there's the tape in the middle and the
There's really nothing wrong with that. That's at least like we've watched other hockey movies. Like we're
trying.
Like,
we're trying.
We're
nice.
trying.
It was nice.
We put a chimp on skates. We're trying. We're trying, hockey fans. We're trying.
We're trying for you. Like, no, you're not. Like, stop lying.
It's an ode. It's an ode to all the dads that have to sit through this and go, "What? This is fucking movie.
What are we watching?
Awful. Like, why am I watching this with my kids?"
Yep.
So they set up eventually that obviously Jack can't live with them forever, so he's gonna have to go back. So they basically have it set up to where he's going back in a certain time frame, but he's like sleeping in the same bed as Tara. You know, they're just like, oh, they'll sleep
like
together. It's perfectly
thing.
fine. So they're walking. Yeah. They're then, I guess, walking to the arena. I don't remember specifically where they're going. I'm pretty sure they're walking to the arena. And some people walk up and they stop them, like the kids and Jack, like, oh my God, I need your autograph. And Jack writes his autograph. It's not bad. Not mad at it. Through the little Christmas village. Actually, I don't think it was to a game. I'm pretty sure it's just they were just chilling out at the Christmas village. Oh, they were helping set up the Christmas village that was already set up.
And he like runs up the tree and like helps to hang some ornaments, and everybody's like, Chip Pants, he's so helpful.
Oh my God, I can't believe it.
Everybody loves him.
And they have a shot of the ticket like takers who were super excited because they've made 10 whole Canadian dollars.
Yeah, like they're like really excited about that because like this is the most people they've had the entire time. Like it's
the stadium is supposed to be packed, but there are tons of empty seats. Tons. So they get to the next game. Everybody's all excited. Magoo's got some glasses now, and he is just robbing players, just snatching them. Just
he's better. He's better because all of a sudden he can see everything, and that was the whole problem the entire time.
So now everybody has Hansen glasses in the crowd. The organist is wearing a full mask. They, I guess, win that game because everybody seems pretty happy. There's a shower scene, which is a little weird. There's a shot of the town paper, which calls them the Comeback Kids. Can they win the league championship this year? Then Christmas happens, and at this point, it's supposed to, I guess, be implied that the reason they found out about Jack being, I might have skipped ahead a bit. I did. I'm looking at the wrong page of my notes. So he goes back for a show and tell a second time and does more to basically teach the kids sign language for no reason. Really, it just sets up the very, very end scene of the movie. This is what this whole thing is.
They're making the playoffs.
There's more terrible hockey scenes where
they didn't. Well, the whole thing is that like they don't do any more hockey. They just insinuate that they've won a bunch of games and that this is the last game before they go to the cup, right?
I'm trying to remember specifically what it was. I actually have it queued up. I do have the movie open. It's like about an hour in. Oh, that's right. It comes down to the last thing. Also, they have scenes where Jack makes a captain because he's got a C on his jersey. But literally between shots, it's there, not there, there, not there, there, not there. But also, Steven is the captain. So there's two captains?
There's two captains.
And they get to the last game. There's a literal clothesline from the opposing team as he skates by. Jack goes by and like cracks them all in the head with his stick. And there's not much left. The game is tied. There's 15 seconds left. And Jack's skating down. Nobody knows what to do. Oh my God, another 10, 9. He kind of does like this really, a slap shot, and it goes through the net, and everybody cheers, yeah. But the referee says, no goal, no goal. And I go, what? What do you mean? A Tigers player, an opposing team's player, dives on the puck, which is illegal. You're not supposed to cover the puck like that. And time runs out, and the referee goes, no goal. And they go, what? What do you mean, no goal? And he crosses his arms because he's the real serious referee.
He was the one that wasn't calling it before. He was the one that was like, oh, I ain't going to call that. Like,
So while everybody's literally standing around. Nobody's looking for the puck. Nobody's reviewing it. There's nobody arguing with the referee. They're all kind of staring off, watching Steven skate away to talk to his sister, who's like, "You got to check the net," and she's just waving her hands. Like, there's no sign language. She's just waving her hands back and forth. She goes, "I see it. Oh, you got to check." So they go over, check. They find out that there is a hole in the net. It did actually go in. The goal counts. Everybody wins. The Nuggets have won. They can't believe it. They're going to go to the Harvest Cup after turning around their game and having a 40-game losing streak. Now, remember, they've been winning games to get into the position to do this. But they're like, 40-game win streak over. It's like, that doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense whatsoever. Everybody's all excited. They're going to the Harvest Cup. And this is where, because apparently they air Junior B games in California, because that's where the university is. Like, they're airing just random Junior B level games, and Dr. Peabody sees Jack on television. He goes like, "Oh my God, I can't believe I'm gonna," and then he hangs up his phone and he rushes out. They finally figure out where Jack's got to live, because it's on the back of the picture with him and his mom. They cut to the star player who's finally recovered, and he's doing all the same moves that Steven can do to show that he's also a star player. And Steven kind of watches him like, this motherfucker's going to take my spot. He's really stares him down, and then just kind of walks away. Like, oh, it's okay. It's not, no, and then walks away.
No.
So they go to General Motors Arena
in like Vancouver or something.
In Vancouver, which later becomes Rogers Arena, I believe. No, I forget. Anyway, they go there, and it's the Harvest Finals, the Harvest Cup Finals. The team walks out onto the ice and looks around. Jack's leading them out. You know, before the game starts, it's the empty arena. They're trying to be like, "Oh man, I can't believe we're gonna be here." This and that. It's real inspirational. Everybody buys tickets to come in. They go through the whole thing. They show the goalie. Everybody's hyped to get out on the ice. They finally get out there. And did anybody happen to spot a familiar voice?
No, I didn't.
You didn't?
Who'd you hear?
You didn't hear the announcers?
Was it Bill Clement?
No, it's not Bill Clement.
Was it...
Did you play any of the NHL games from like roughly 2001 to 2009?
I played 99, I think.
I don't think Jim Houston was doing the calls for that game yet.
Yeah, because that had a Flyers player on the front of it. Yeah, it had Lindros.
Yeah,
yep.
Jim Houston is the like professional style commentator.
Now we're ready to drop the puck for the opening faceoff. Getzlaff on the draw. Calgary takes control. Ahead to Lanko. Here comes Damon Lanko. Shigear turns him away.
So they have him there, and he's talking to the regular schlub announcer about how important the game is and all that normal stuff. After that, we find out that Dr. Peabody and his goons are bringing a court order to get Jack back, but they don't want to grab him right away.
We just don't know which court was ordering it, because, you know, they're in America, obviously, and they went across international lines to go get a monkey. It's a mess, and we don't know which court he's referring to.
Correct. So it apparently takes a whole hockey game to figure this out, because they're going to wait to see how he plays, maybe. Maybe, to be honest, if he's been watching Junior B at home, maybe he's super interested in the Harvest Cup. I don't know. But the idea is that they set up...
They've got tickets at, like, center ice on the opposite side of the benches. They've got really great seats.
Yeah, they do.
You got to wonder how this is not being broadcast, like, nationally, internationally. Like, it's a monkey playing hockey. I mean, come on. Somebody's going to pick this up.
Now,
So
as
he's
far
probably
as-
been
Somebody
watching.
should, yeah.
Yeah.
As far
yeah.
as hockey
Somebody's
play goes, for this section, it's probably the best of the whole movie. It looks like they were trying to play actual hockey. They used stock footage at one point, and it's super weird because it's obviously adult men playing, not children. But I'm assuming the reason they picked the two colors of the teams is so they could use this stock footage that they found once.
They're like, this is what inspired the whole movie.
Yeah, because basically, it's not super great. The arena is way more packed in the stock footage than it is in the actual game. They do normal goon stuff, big checks in the boards, no calls. Our friend
Grown
Moose,
men beating children.
yeah, Moose, instead of wearing his visor down, has it tilted up because the rules. Nobody cares.
Because these are rules, you know.
The goalie is still mostly incompetent when it comes to moving side to side, but his glove hand is phenomenal. So he stops the puck and then takes the trapper off and lifts his helmet up. After the first period, the opposing team is up 1-0. This is where we get another spill something on the white suit gag. As Tara is walking with, I can only assume, is hot chocolate, and our good old friendly doctor with nerdy Billy Bob Thornton kind of bump into each other, and he goes to hand them a wanted poster for the chimpanzee. Like,
have you seen this monkey?
You seen this guy?
It's
like,
like,
oh
nice,
my
he's
God.
been on the ice the entire game, but whatever.
Yeah, she runs off, and there's no suspicions whatsoever. And then he decides, like, oh, wait, I should probably chase her. So she runs to the locker room. She magically gains access. Moose opens the door, but he's, like, looking up way too high. Like, even the person he's looking for is 8 feet tall. And they're not there. So then they basically show up like, oh, my God, the evil doctor's there. And she just kind of waves her hands around. And very Lassie-like. Turns out Dr. Peabody followed her. And, oh my God, I can't believe it. They're going to steal Jack away. So they got to come up with a plan to maybe get rid of it. So that's when they go and sit in their seats to watch the end of the game. And,
well, you know, that's when we find out they have great seats, too, because they're sitting there, and it's like, she sees them, like, from across the ice, and, like, gets her brother's attention.
Oh, there I am.
You know,
I'm good
by like
now.
waving her hands,
We're good.
and he just like turns around, like psychic or something. I don't know. How did he know that she was trying to get his attention?
Also, what happened to the glass behind the players?
Can you hear me?
They don't have it. It doesn't
hear you.
exist anymore. It's not a thing.
Okay. Cool.
So
Yeah, the glass is now gone behind the bench. They show more captain and uncaptaining of different players on the team. The goalie is playing out of his mind.
yeah, they make a point to show that he's playing really well, you know, except for that first goal.
Yeah, so apparently also Tara has been keeping El Simian Nature Preserve secret
For some reason.
for the whole movie until it's most valuable, which is right now. It's going into the third period, and they need a way to get Jack out of there because these people are, instead of just coming and stopping the game and pulling Jack off the ice and correcting it, they're like, we got to see how this game plays out. It's so tight. So Tara tells Steven what it is. He's like, this is where Jack's from? And like, yeah, I can't believe it, by waving her fingers around.
I can wave my fingers so fast it makes noise.
So they then show our boy Moose getting a massage from the ticket taker. This guy's got a lot of hats, you know, but he's managed to do okay. This is where we get the scene to where the one guy comes up and says, I was knitting you this hat, but I ran out of time, so I'm just going to give it to you with the crochet needles and everything. Just you'll figure out the end, right? You're smart.
Yep. You're smart. He puts it on with the crochet needles in it, and then he shoves one of the crochet needles in his mouth, and I'm like, they really let him do that? Did they put like something on it? Because he's like eating it. He's like trying to lick it up like real hard. Like I don't know. It was real interesting.
And then
That was one of the more WTF moments I had about like the handlers, because I'm like, why do they want him putting that in his mouth? Like they put something on it, like he's eating it. Like I'm like,
listen, you hand it to them, they're gonna see if it's food. So they then show Captain Pete, who goes to the coach and is like, "Hey, I think I'm ready to play." And he goes, I've been healthy for a while, right? And coach goes, "Yeah, I know you're just a lazy fuck."
lazy fucking piece of shit, fucking kid. Yeah,
Um,
he just didn't want to play because he wasn't on a good team anymore.
so he he basically they have to. This is where they kind of get the idea that they set up how to get Jack out of the arena, how to sneak him out of there. So
Like they just go like make one phone call, and they manage to have a plane ticket ready, and like everybody knows exactly what's going on. Like there's no questions, and it's like because there's only 20 minutes between periods of hockey. We're not even. She's like, how many minutes? 10 minutes,
just
10, 15 minutes, like 15 minutes between a period of hockey, and he sets all this up to get Jack out of there in 15 fucking minutes flat.
Yep. So they put Pete in, Rybczynski, which again, not legal. Can't do that. Can't change players in between periods. So Jack goes out there. He's skating around and moving all over the place. Apparently, Rybczynski can just come back and wear the C again because who the fuck cares? Everybody
Who the
else has
fuck
been wearing a
cares? Yeah.
C.
Yep,
So
it's everybody's got the C.
he's got the mojo and he's going to go out and do everything. So they sneak. You can see all of a sudden you see Jack or Steve escorting what I guess is supposed to be his sister to the
Yeah.
taxi, and they both get in the back seat and they go to drive away. It's daytime. The game continues, but apparently it gets dark really quick in Canada.
Because it's nighttime.
It's nighttime literally the next time they see them. Also, the person who he's riding with is no longer in the vehicle with him.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, he's the only person. Like
He's
they
the only
don't show
person
the
in the seat.
monkey. The monkey's not there. Like nobody's there. It's just
It's
him.
him and the taxi driver, and this
He's
guy's
like put the junior B hockey game on the radio,
yeah,
and he like touches him. He like touches the taxi driver. I'm like, I wouldn't have touched the taxi driver
No,
ever in my entire life. He like taps him on the shoulder. He's like, hey, put the junior B. No, he just says put the hockey game on. And if it could have been an NHL game,
It could have been anything.
Wouldn't have been anything.
But this fucking taxi driver knows exactly
What he wants to hear. It's like, didn't you just leave that game? Do you don't want it? You want to hear it? Like I thought you would stay at the game if you wanted to hear it.
Yeah, so the guy knows exactly what station's on. He goes, "Oh yeah, no problem." Must have it preset because he just goes bump, and then kicks right over. And the very final scene, for the movie, Moose gets taken out, no call. Lots of shots of legs. They finally get into the zone. The other team gets into the zone, takes a shot on Magoo, big glove save. Big glove save. It kind of goes back and forth. There's just under 2 minutes left, and the doctor and the other guy are like, "There's 2 minutes left. I can't make sure." So then he puts his gloves on. He's like, "We're gonna go finally pick this monkey up." So Rybczynski knees another player while skating, no problem.
Like he's a dirty player. That's why That's how he injured himself.
Most
Obviously.
likely, just being a scumbag. So he gets into the zone and blasts a shot from the circle, low and wide. Or low hits the post, and the puck must take the weirdest bounce ever because not only hit the post and go forward, back out across the thing, but it doesn't. It actually goes straight up in the air. Comes back down, lands on the line. Not completely crosses the line, but lands on it. Rybczynski gets just leveled. He's on the ice, rolling around. No problem. Everything's going. Now the puck is just sitting on the red line with 15 seconds left. I think it's 15 seconds. There's a tiny amount of time left. So Moose barrels into the goaltender, pushing him into the net. No call for stoppage of play then. No call for just completely crushing the goalie. And they're looking at the puck. And there's a big continuity issue because they show the net. They show Moose and the goalie in the net, and there's the red paint on the net is completely worn off. It's just not
Yeah.
there. And when they cut down to the top angle of the puck, you don't see the goalie and Moose because they're obviously not in the same shot, and the puck's just sitting there.
So one of the things I'm confused about is I'm pretty sure that during this period they cut to they cut to the monkey on the ice.
They do. That's coming up very shortly.
Because and they show the monkey's face too, which throws me off because I'm like, wasn't it insinuated that he was like in the car, like on the way to the airport? Like I thought that was the whole deal, right? Like that's where he was going. And I was very confused for a moment as to why they would show the monkey on the ice.
They show him skating right at the start of the third period.
And it's the monkey though, but it's not someone else. It's the monkey.
It's supposed to be, yes.
Supposed to be. No. There's no like ifs, ands, or buts. It's like if you're going to insinuate, like do a good job of maybe trying to hide his face or maybe looked at. No. Like it was the monkey. It was the monkey.
Yeah, I noticed that too.
So it's 15 seconds left. Moose and the goalie are in the crease. The puck is sitting right there. All Moose has to do is knock it in, no problem. So there's more like pushing and shoving. You can see players like kind of grimacing as they're trying to keep other players from getting to the net. They look at the puck again, 8, 7, 6, and there's a shot where the one of the opposing team's players is looking out at Jack as he skates towards the net. Doesn't try to knock the puck free. Doesn't turn around and move the puck out of the crease. Does nothing. Just literally stares at the player. He doesn't even go for the check originally. He just kind of sits there. Then he loads up the a cross check. It's obviously that it's coming. Even Magoo could have seen it. The first half of the movie. Jack drops to his feet and slides. This guy just cross checks the air.
Like he has worse vision than Magoo somehow. Like he's like, I got him, and then
it's
like
terrible.
Nothing. Ghost check, cross checks a ghost.
Jack slides underneath his legs, tips the puck into the net, scores the game-winning goal. Time runs out. The crowd goes crazy. Obviously, stock footage. Everybody's like, "Yeah, I can't believe it! Yeah!" Magoo is jumping up and down, throwing his stuff like he just won a Stanley Cup. They just, everybody wins. They won the Harvest Cup. I can't believe it. Steven yells, "They won!" Smacks the taxi driver a few times.
The taxi driver's just like, what the fuck?
What are you doing, bud? Get out of here with that shit. What the fuck is wrong with you, man? You fucking crazy bastard. I'm driving. They're all cheers. Everything's hunky-dory. More static footage. Magoo does like a butt bump backflip thing. And then all of a sudden, Jack turns around and, oh my God, it's not Jack. I can't believe it. It's Tara. That's right. They did the old switcheroony.
Yep, and it didn't make any sense because Tara definitely doesn't look like a monkey, and everybody would have been able to tell, and that's why the monkey's the smartest character in the movie. And they also should have done exactly what happened when the monkey originally jumped on the ice. That's an illegal player.
It's an illegal player.
It's an illegal player. No goal.
No goal. Unfortunately, there's 2 illegal players in this game, and the rule book has been thrown out the window. She doesn't look super excited to score the game-winning goal at first. She's like super nervous and sad, and then she's like, "Oh my God, I did it!" And like she waves to her parents, and the parents do little sign language stuff to her, and she giggles. And everybody's like, "Yeah, I can't believe it." Rybczynski is perfectly healed, no problem. Moose picks up Tara, and they go for a little skate around. Apparently, it takes roughly 2 minutes to get to the ice level, because by now, the evil doctor shows up, and he's like, "Where's Jack?" And he's like, "Well, not Jack. It's this little girl. It's been a little girl the whole time." And he goes, "Ah, you tricky bastards!" And nobody seems to stop him from climbing onto the ice. Not a single person.
Not a single person. No one stopping this man from climbing onto the ice not over the glass, but just over the boards, because glass doesn't exist anymore. Again, for some reason, just conveniently, no glass there.
Yep. Just obviously for these 2 scenes right here. So they managed to get sneakily managed to get Jack all the way to an airport. The kid, you can tell this is this is before all the travel restrictions in the TSA, because this kid is able to go with a monkey all the way to the gate with no problems whatsoever.
And then give him a hug goodbye.
Give him a hug goodbye. He's like, I'm gonna miss you, buddy. He's like, I'm gonna miss you too, man. Then he puts a bag of fruit snacks in his bag.
And sends him on his way to El Simian, a direct flight.
Direct flight to El Simian. The whole time walking down the tunnel, Jack's like carrying his bag, and he's having a hard time with it. And he keeps like turning around and look. And I keep waiting for the scene to where he kind of shuffles back down, and the kid goes, "No, you gotta go. Go be with your family." But it never happens.
And that's the one thing that should have happened.
Yeah, there were a lot of chances for tropes like that in this movie that didn't happen.
Just didn't do it.
Yep, well, they didn't do it.
They do the sign language. He points to himself, crosses his arms over his chest for "I love," and then points to our boy Steven for "you," and he's like, "I love you too, bro." All right, man, that's pretty dope. Now, the person who's supposed to be walking Jack just keeps walking, doesn't stop to make sure the chimpanzee that she's in charge
you're
of.
supposed to watch is.
She's just like, nah, I'm okay. Let's go, and just leaves. Doesn't worry about it. Just leaves.
Yep.
And eventually, they find out he's walking away.
Yep.
He manages to get from the airport all the way back to the arena where they're still partying. They have the Harvest Cup. There's people running around. There's teenage boys who are basically in different states of like no shirts on, all this other stuff with this little girl in there, and she's like, "Oh my God, how's Jack?" And they're like, he went away.
Everything's fine. They forget about the monkey completely.
Yep, they completely forget about it. Then they start offering out
contracts.
Yeah, they start offering off contracts.
Start offering out contracts like randomly. Like, yeah. Hey,
So-
you want a contract? You want to be on the Ducks farm team? What do you want? What do you want?
Yeah, the fucking goalie. The goalie who couldn't see, who had a 40-game losing streak. The Ducks farm team was like, he's our man.
They can't name the Ducks farm team, but they just say the Ducks farm team.
Yes.
So, got an AHL contract.
You got an AHL contract out of it. A fucking AHL contract. Which is bullshit. He's got an AHL contract for being a schlub. And then they go, hey, here's... They then turn to Steve, and Steve gets a deal with the WHL Vancouver team. They're known as the Giants in the real WHL. He gets a deal with them to play, legit junior hockey for the team. The very last scene of the movie is Jack sitting in a Jeep while it's being driven to the reserve. He finally shows up, and guess who's waiting for him? Not his mom, not his dad. Fuck that noise.
It's janitor friend.
It's the janitor friend. He got a job working at the nature reserve, putting sticks in the back of the truck, and he turns around all slow like, what? And he goes,
What took you so
it's
long,
Jack?
Jack?
What took you so long? Oh my God, I can't believe it. Oh man, it's nice and happy. You're like, oh, this feels so good. He gives him a hug. They kind of do like a little happy jump around dance.
Jack! Buddy, where you been? What took you so long?
And he gets to go hang out with his family.
Yeah, Jack sees his mom and dad, and his mom and dad are chilling out over by like the little logs that they got all chopped up, and they run up the tree, but he can't run into the tree because he's wearing shoes. And like he tries, he gives it 2 or 3 good jumps, but because he's wearing shoes, he can't get the grip to climb up.
Yep.
And that's where the movie ends.
And that's where the movie ends. It's the whole movie.
That's it. It's obviously the best hockey movie of all time.
Obviously.
It's overall, the hockey in it's not great. I'm not gonna lie to
5
you.
out of 7, perfect score.
It's not great. It's when I try to think of other like comedy style hockey movies, the Mighty Ducks is obviously the pinnacle for that. Because there's a lot of like kind of goofy stuff going on with the Mighty Ducks movies too. Um,
But
but
this is like to an extreme. Like that's
Yeah.
it's just, none of it actually lines up.
no, none of it. Like it's just a hodgepodge. It's just like they probably shot 3 times more like content and then like whittled it down to this and like what fits like, and then slash this together and I have no idea.
It was made in the edit.
Yeah, it was all made
Yeah.
in an edit.
Yeah.
It really was. They basically just filmed a bunch of it. It really at certain points, especially during the hockey scenes, it really feels like they just filmed.
Like they
certain
might have
spots.
had a cohesive like plot in a movie, and like somebody actually spent time writing the script, and then like the editors were just like, "Nah, man, this can't be a 3-hour long monkey hockey movie.
Monkey
we gotta,
movie.
We can't.
Gotta get it down to an hour and 20
we gotta
minutes.
Get it down, yeah, we gotta get down to an hour and 20 minutes. So like that's what they did.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's the total runtime is 1 hour 32 minutes. What do you think the budget was for the movie?
$7 million.
God, I don't even know.
Take a guess.
It was probably a lot because it was made by the Air Bud director. So I feel like Air Bud was like a big thing back then.
It's one of the movies in the Air Bud cinematic universe.
That's what I'm saying. It's $7 million. That's what I think.
I'm gonna go higher and say 15 to 20 million.
You're both over by quite a bit. It cost $4.5 million to make the movie.
That movie made so much money.
How much do you think the overall gross?
Double. I'd say
Double?
10 at least. At least
Okay.
10.
20.
Nope. It made a whopping 1.25 million gross.
For its entire life, is that including like video?
Well, it's probably the box office, right?
That's box office. Yeah, I don't have.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, like direct.
So it was a flop. That's how they make money on these movies.
Yeah, they don't make movies in the box office. They make money on the merchandise. And They make money on like the video sales.
That's the trick. I don't know how. They probably sold a bunch of like those like when you go to Walmart and you just see that big like just bin of movies and you go through and you dig through and you pick up
$5.
Oh my God! I can't
thing of, yeah.
This
That's
is
100%
Speed
what
7.
happened.
I didn't know they made one of these and you stick it in there.
Speed 7. It's the one about the glaciers.
We have to get off this glacier.
Oh my God.
This glacier goes faster.
If this glacier moves more than 2 inches, if this glacier moves more than 2 inches a year, the entire water's underwater in 120 years. It's over. I'm not making fun of global warming. I'm just making fun of Speed 7. Okay.
Get Keanu on there.
Yeah.
Whoa.
So as far as the Air Bud movies go, this is number 7.
Oh my God, the 7th one they made.
7th, yeah, 7. The first Air Bud is 1997. It's basically, if you don't know the story of Air Bud, it's a golden retriever who joins the basketball team because he used to be a circus dog who escaped from the circus.
The original Air Bud was a legitimately okay movie.
It's not as good as your.
Not as bad as this.
I've never watched it.
This is crazy.
Guess we're covering next week.
Oh.
We're not watching Air Bud. I'm not watching Air Bud. I will do hockey themed movies, but
there is a part in that movie in Air Bud where they take Air Bud into like a courtroom and they make him choose between like his bad old clown owner guy and like the new people, and like the guy's like banging like a newspaper or something in his hand, like trying to get the dog all riled up, and he wins him like in the courtroom because Air Bud goes to attack the old guy. It's terrible. It's horrible.
The our boy Steven, he actually plays a role in Air Bud.
Really?
Yep, he's the kid who the little kid who finds Air Bud.
Wow.
It's not the same character; it's a completely different character.
But he had a role there, huh?
Yep. He plays I think I'm trying to remember. I can't remember Josh, I think what it is. But there's 3 Air Bud movies.
Josh.
There's 3 of them. The first one he plays basketball, second one he plays football, and then they play soccer with all of his whole family. Then they went a little crazy and played baseball, volleyball.
That's a little hard for a dog to play baseball. I'm not gonna lie, he can't bat, so
He can't.
I don't.
He's not super great.
But he can catch. I give it to him. I'll give that to him. A
I'm not-
dog would be a great outfielder. Just saying.
A dog would be a great outfielder. So, a retriever would, yeah.
That's what I'm saying, man. A dog would be a great outfielder.
So our the star, the smartest character in the whole movie goes on to play in MVP 2, where he takes his. This is a direct sequel, by the way. He takes his hockey skills.
Have you watched this?
The second one? No, I haven't seen the second one.
Okay.
But he goes and does cross-country skateboarding competitions. He goes all over the
hockey
place.
skills.
He takes his hockey skills and they translate directly to tearing up the half pipe.
Sick. That's a sick show. I can't wait to watch that one.
It's a trilogy movie.
I'm not watching anymore.
Yeah, so instead of MVP, Most Valuable Primate, it's Most Vertical Primate. A few years later, direct to video, they released MXP, Most Extreme Primate, where, guess what, Jack's back, and this time he's tearing up slopes on a snowboard.
Is our retarded janitor in the movie the entire time?
You said an R word. We can't use it.
Mentally
Jesus
disabled.
Christ.
Mentally disabled. Mentally disabled. He's mentally disabled.
So
I said it earlier too. I don't know what you want me to say.
Mentally disabled.
It's all right. What are you gonna do? At this point, the Air Bud cinematic universe goes off the rails. There's a spy movie. There's a bunch of golden retriever puppies who.
Spy Kids, the dog movie.
It's basically Spy Kids. There's a bunch of Santa movies. I remember there's one where it's like this dog is like a wrestling family.
What?
And then they go right back to like it's dogs.
It's dogs.
They're terrible. But like I said, overall the movie's not great. IMDb I think has it at a I don't even know.
2, a 2, a 1.
4 stars, 4 out of 10.
Ugh.
I wouldn't have rated it 4 out of 10.
No,
But-
this is a bad movie. This was a movie so bad that my kids hated it, and my kids, my youngest will watch like these awful animations with like music set to them that are just like baby bump boo boo, and it's just doo doo doo, and it's awful stuff to have to listen and sit through. Like it's all nursery rhyme shit. He hated this movie. He hated it. He tried to get me to turn it off so many times. Dad, I got to do it for the podcast. He's like, Dad, turn it off. This is terrible. Like, yes, I know it is.
So, this movie was also nominated for 3 awards.
3?
3. A 2 in 2001 for the Young Artist Awards, basically for the 2 kids who played. But it was part of the Leo Awards, which is a program from British Columbia film and television industry. It's held in Vancouver. The Leo Awards are basically I don't want to call them the Canadian Oscars because they're not.
Is it named after Leonardo DiCaprio? It's like the Leo.
Because I did zero research into why it's named after him. Yes, it is
Sure.
named after him.
Yes.
Sure.
Yes, it is.
But it's a winner for best overall sound of a feature-length drama. And I got to tell you, if I'm trying to guess why they won, and it's got to be It Feels Like Magic. It's got to be. There's no all the other songs.
They play that at the end. They play that at the end, don't they?
Yep,
That's like the
going to
end.
credits.
That's the end. It's the end credit song. Yeah.
It's great. The hockey in the movie is terrible. It's just bad. There's no toys
we
about
just
it.
never
I'm not-
talk about this again.
No, because we're gonna do more of these.
Oh, please.
Listen, doing movie reviews for stuff for like hockey movies, everybody's going to be like, we got to do Miracle. We got to do the Mighty Ducks.
No,
Why
we're
do
just
what
gonna do the
everybody else is
worst
doing?
movies.
We're going to do the worst ones. Not even the worst ones. We're just going to do ones that had hockey in it, maybe. Because I wasn't lying. The Tooth Fairy is a hockey movie. The Rock plays a minor league hockey player.
So we're gonna watch.
You got another movie you want to do? Which one do you want to do next?
You know what I want? You know what I would rather? I would rather do a review of Big Daddy. No, Happy Gilmore.
That's not really a hockey movie. It's a golf movie.
Yeah, but he was a minor league hockey player before he went to play golf.
But there's not. It's not really hockey centric. That's the idea is that we're going to.
So how is the Tooth Fairy hockey centric?
It's not. I was just making it up.
Exactly.
I've actually never seen it, so I don't know how much hockey is actually in that movie.
I don't think there's a lot in there. I don't think that's the point of the movie.
I'm gonna find out.
Don't watch that. Don't watch that, Jim. Don't do that to yourself.
My God. I love terrible movies. They're my favorite. One of my favorite things. No. Anyway, that's what we're looking at. If you enjoyed this, we're gonna do it again. Much to the chagrin of our
we don't know
friend
which one we're
Soffel.
going to do yet, but
we don't know what movie it's going to be, but we will figure it out. We will probably eventually do like the Mighty Ducks, but I don't know what we could do to say that hasn't been said about the hockey in those movies, anyways.
How many Slapshot movies are there?
4.
Maybe do like the last one. You know what I mean? Like, because they get progressively worse.
I mean, you're not wrong. So, let's see.
Wasn't there a second Goon movie too?
There is a second Goon movie, Last of Enforcers, which isn't that bad.
Oh well, okay. Well, there goes that idea.
I know there's a National Lampooned. Slapshot 3 is the Junior League. I've never seen this.
Again, it sounds terrible. I didn't know that it went that far.
It sounds terrible, but guess what we're watching?
Slapshot 3.
I have to find it.
2008. Ugh, man.
Ugh.
2008. What a year for movies.
What a year for movies. There's a bunch of hockey movies. So there was also
Goon is a hockey movie.
Yeah, but the problem is it's a good hockey movie.
It's an okay hockey movie. Like,
no, it's not just an okay hockey movie. Goon is one of the best hockey movies ever made.
We could watch Sudden Death. Jean-Claude Van Damme.
What was that one? What was the?
Is that the one where he kills the penguins?
Yep.
Yeah.
Wow.
Right
that would be good. Right in the wheelhouse.
Van Damme's a Flyers fan for sure.
He's French, so whatever. Let's just let that one go.
All right.
Anyway, we there's a few hockey movies that we could watch. I'd prefer to stick to more comedy ones, but if we got to branch off to like serious hockey movies.
There's a couple we'll discuss, but I think
we'll figure it out.
I think Ridiculous is good. Yeah.
There's a Donald Duck cartoon that's involves hockey. There's a ton. Just got to figure it out.
Is it? Did they ever do a movie for the Mighty Ducks cartoon series?
Oh, I don't know.
Did they do a movie for the Ducks cartoon series? The one where they're like
action heroes. They're from
a different planet. Yeah, they're aliens. Oh, that's a weird show.
Yeah,
I tried to get my kids to watch it and they hated it.
You want to find an episode of that and watch those, or you want to watch?
I would watch it. I would
watch it. We could watch this season. We could go through the season because I think it's on Disney Plus.
Is it?
Be, right?
It is. It is.
I'm gonna have to sign up for Disney Plus, I guess.
We'll get you.
We're gonna do episode recaps of the Mighty Ducks TV series from the late '90s, early
96
2000s?
to 97.
Just those 2 years.
That's it. First air date,
how was
September
this such
7th.
a big? How is this such a big part of my childhood? Like, how do I remember all of this?
I mean, listen. Apparently, they did 2 seasons, but it
It
looks
just felt
like
like it was so much longer.
it didn't air all the second season.
Really? I could have
Probably
swore that we
got
watched.
canceled in the middle of it.
I could have swore I watched the entire. It had like a continuity to it. Like there was a lot going on there.
Well, how about we do that? How about we watch through the
One
they're,
whole season of.
22 minutes each.
Oh my
We can
god.
do. We'll do the. How about we do the first? How you want to do it? Well, we'll discuss that
I
off
don't
the
have
show.
access to Disney Plus yet. I need to figure that out
I
first.
got you, homeboy. We'll discuss that after the show. So,
All right.
um,
What have I done?
Matt Angle, what are your final thoughts on the greatest hockey movie ever, MVP?
This
Most Valuable
so
Primate?
Jim. This is one of the first things that Jim mentioned. Like, I think first meeting Jim, this is a movie that he's talked about forever, and this movie is bad.
It's a long con.
It's so terrible. What could I guess the things I could take from this movie are editing can make a movie.
No, we can't because they didn't. They tried. They didn't make a movie.
I'm sure that there's a lot that they were missing and working with, and this movie is so weird. Yeah, that's it. That's all I got, man. That's all I got. I don't know that I'm better having watched it.
I don't know if I'm better.
I don't know that it's enriched my life, but I've done it. I've done it.
So
and
what do you?
That's important.
It's a 5. We're going to use I guess a 5-star system. What are you going to give it?
It would be a 1 star. Can I give it 0 stars?
You can
1
do
to
whatever you
0,
want, yeah.
0 to 1, -1.
Well, it has to be 0 to 5. So we're gonna stick to it.
0.
Not even like a half star.
Well, okay, all right. I will give it a half star for the janitor character.
Perfect.
He's my favorite character in the movie. I believe he would have been more appropriate in a different movie that was better.
I feel like there was a part at which he said something that really resonated with me, that reminded me of something, because he said something early on in the movie. It's like talking about his cousin Ernest, and like I think his cousin Ernest was the actual Ernest from the Ernest movies.
Maybe. I thought about that too, but I'm not.
I just needed to bring that up. I needed to get that off my chest because I remember that for some reason. Like, why do I remember that?
But who knows?
I do appreciate you having made me watch this movie, though.
Listen, man, you got to know what's out there. Everybody goes around. Everybody goes around, not living the best life. We all gotta live like Darren. That's what's the problem.
I feel like secretly this is like one of your favorite movies of all time. I mean, and I think you try to like sneak it in because it's like you love animals, you love hockey. This is like a marriage of those two, and it's like it's like you can't. Yeah, it's got everything you want. It's got chimps, it's got hockey. You're like, this is great.
How can I go wrong?
This has potential.
Shit. So Matt Soffel, what are you going to give it?
Just 69 stars.
That's out of the 1 to 5 scale. So
5 out of 7, perfect score.
5 out of 7, perfect score. I would probably give it a 1.5.
That's accurate.
It is a nice family movie. Aside all the goofy stuff.
It is a movie.
It is a nice family movie. You can watch it with your grandma. Nobody's ever going to get offended. It's super fun. The scenes with as for like a little kid, the scenes with the monkey, as long as you're not Matt Angle's kids, everything's perfect. There's a monkey there. He's eating bananas. All the normal tropes are there. But as far as like a hockey movie related to hockey, it's not. It is a hockey movie. It's just all the hockey in it is terrible. And I guess that's it. Anybody got anything? Got anything left?
No, that's this movie. Recapping it is emotionally draining.
it's emotionally draining. We recorded this late. We started at 9 at night. It is now 11:10. We're 2 hours into the show. I'm gonna have a lot of work to do. But anyway, if you guys like this, we'll keep doing it. We're probably gonna keep doing it anyways, because what else are we gonna do? Once hockey starts back up, we'll put this off to maybe stuff from like to the off season when there's absolutely no hockey, like after the free agency and all the other stuff, where it's like it's the beginning of August. What now? You know, we'll probably as long as there's no big developments, we'll do more of these. Keep an eye out on YouTube. I will put it out on our Twitter. I'll stick it out there with the whole little video companion. I don't know specifically how I'm going to do it. If I'm just going to play the movie and have us talk over top of it. I'll probably have to clip it a little bit, like clip up some of the things, like when we pause to point to the goaltenders or pause for the obviously a kid in a monkey costume who's supposed to be a monkey. We'll do stuff like that, but I'll figure that out. Hopefully, I'll have it up relatively quickly. But you know, I got a baby, so shit goes crazy. I guess that's it. So until next time, remember, kids, stay on sides.